Can we make this the year of the front burner bitch asking for a friend? Which that's you if you're here. You're my friend. Hi guys, it's Diane, Boss Bitch Radio. If you know, you know. And today we're going to talk about how I became a back burner bitch last year and the lessons I learned from that and how we ain't doing that in 2025. We meaning me and you. We're going for a little journey. So if you're going for a little cardio walk, hot girl walk, bebop your little ponytail around, listen in, and let's talk, let's chat. This is a girlfriendy chat, personal trainer bestie, being real here with you. If you can relate, please reach out to me on the gram. Let me know. But I want to talk to you about how we need to pour into our own cups first. And a lot of times as busy entrepreneurs, business women who are crushing it, maybe you're just the CEO of your household, not maybe just, like that's a big effing deal. Like you guys, I live by myself and I'm like struggling to keep up with all of the chores here because I outsource them to my kiddo who was living at home a lot. So it's a lot, right? Running teams, running a business, having children, and then trying to manage real life in between all that. Where is there time to work out? That was really where I spent a lot of my mental energy last year. And listen, I got in. I wasn't not taking care of myself, but you know the drill. You know when you're like, when it's like, it's on autopilot, but not in a good autopilot. It's like, I'm going through the motions. I'm here because I know I am supposed to be, but I'm being a little brat about it in my head. That's where I was in 2024. And if I'm being honest, it's kind of been a slow lead up to that as the business has grown, we've gotten busier and things like that. And so maybe you can relate to that. You get into a season where things are a little more chaotic and your priorities shift, right? Things move around. I think that's totally normal. However, being mindful of where the effects of that show up in your life is incredibly important. And a lot of times we're just head down grinding and not even realizing I'm kind of being a shitbag to myself, right? I'm not really exercising like I need to be for my body, for optimum, just humaning. I'm not eating like I know I need to feel good to show up for my team, my kids, my people. And I really started to have to think about my self-care going into 2025 I had to think of it in the context of I need to do this for these people. Okay. Like I need to do this. I need to prioritize my health and wellness for the people in my life. And when I took it and switched it in terms of it being a selfish endeavor, or I'm doing it because, I have a cruise coming up in April or whatever, it's more the driving force as to why and putting a little more intention behind it. It was definitely a game changer, but it wasn't until I sort of had to go through some things, right? It's like, I kind of akin it to this, like you need a bit of a plan, right? You need some structure and it needs to be easy. And that's what we teach in our programs is a lot of the principles from Atomic Habits, which is by James Clear, one of the best books ever. If you're just really trying to get on track with, honestly, anything positive in your life. I always say, I laugh and I joke about that being the best diet book you can ever find. There's really nothing to do with diet in terms of like dietary theories. It's just teaches you how to change your habits. And really a lot of the snags that we have with our health and fitness all come down to habits, right? Like either we're slipping into some old unserving habits that are being replaced by good habits that we used to have, right? That was a lot of what I felt like I experienced last year off and on. Or we're working on creating new habits, right? New neural pathways and getting our brain wired differently than it has been so we can create some positive change in our life. But it's a lot easier said than done. However, it's not impossible. And I think if you're very mindful about what it is that you're struggling with or is a shortcoming right now, then that's the first step. But the answer is never keep grinding, keep pushing harder, keep growing, add more to your plate. That backfires and it really started to backfire for me intermittently last year. And I was sicker than I've ever been last year. And I mean, just those nagging little colds that keep coming back and this and that. And I was traveling a lot. I had some family things going on. I moved states. I'm trying to be very forgiving with myself and know like that was a season, right? That was a season. But it wasn't until I really sort of was like, shit, it like smacked me pretty much dead in the face, because I'm like, listen, my body is not keeping up with my ambition. It's just like, bitch, you're clocked out. Like you're clocked out of the mind and body connection. And that's something that I really cherish is when my mind and my body are on the same page. I know that sounds crazy, but those of you that know, you know, if you're not taking care of your body, your mind follows suit very quickly. And I have a long history early on in my 20s of depression, and it runs rampant in our family. Depression, alcoholism, diabetes, like everything. So I'm not like primed for an optimal a health and wellness outlook by the terms of my genetics. It's because I'm aware of that I'm really quick to change it up, right? Like, let's not stay here. Let's not focus on the problem. Let's focus on solutions and what do we need to do to shift some things up. It's funny because I know it sounds kind of crazy because I'm in health and fitness. I've been in health and fitness for 20 years. And I like to think that I still, no matter what, when I feel like I'm being hard on myself, I'm still moving. I'm still eating at least 80% well most of the time. And my training is very lackluster. It's probably going through the motions. You know, towards the end of the year, I was a little more intentional because this is when it all kind of just became an epiphany for me. But there is this point where I realize like I am neglecting the biggest piece of my mental health and my mental wellness. And that is getting my exercise in, right? The food is another topic, right? The stuff we're putting in our body is information for our cells to do something with. And if you're putting in a lot of like bad information, right? Like junk food, processed food, things that your body's like, I don't know what this is, but okay, we're going to put it somewhere. And then it puts it into your body cells as body fat, right? I know this is not how the body works, but bear with me. It's very apparent that things will start to fall apart. I start to not feel well. I start to feel sick. I start to have more aches and pains. And I know how it feels when I'm done working out. And that is just this sense of more euphoria. I feel strong in my body. I feel accomplished, and the feel good endorphins, right? Like I want to remember that as why I'm doing this, because that's important. That's important to feel those things because that contributes to my mental health. It helps me battle my what seems like never-ending anxiety. It switched from depression to anxiety, but my stress relief for anxiety and stress relief is, quite frankly, is my movement and exercise, and it helps immensely, right? There are so many studies that I've dove into more recently just about the effects of exercise on mental health, and I am just astounded at the research and the numbers and how it is incredible for boosting confidence. And when you're strong and confident in your body, it's just so much easier to show up for life and like handle the hard shit, right? Or handle shit in your business when you got to put out fires and it's not just like all consuming and then takes you down a spiral. So feeling and staying strong in my body, in your body, right? Like us, we together, besties here, is so important, and why we need to not let this just be a January 1st thing, right? We got to keep going beyond that. Now, I started off by saying, I realized that I was becoming a back burner bitch, but if you can relate to that, it's, when you're like, okay, I'm slipping. I'm not eating well. I'm not sleeping well. I'm staying up too late. Maybe you're partaking in too much alcohol throughout the week or the weekends. Girls been there, done that. Not fun. It's not a really great place to live, right? Like in your body. When all of that is going on, it would make sense why we're stressed out, why I would feel stressed out, why I wouldn't have motivation to want to really do much, is because I just was in this sort of feeding cycle of just, okay, I'm not working out. I'm not eating well. I feel like crap. I'm in a bad mood. I'm grumpy. I'm not feeling productive. I'm sluggish. I need coffee all day. I need a nap. I eat snacks at night because I'm, dealing with all the other 5 million things that I just expressed. It comes out in my snacking, right? Some people are emotional eaters. Some people they turn to alcohol or other, spending. They trend towards one kind of thing when they don't have control in other areas. And I get that. I mean, I feel like it's a thing. It's a thing that I see with women often. So my really oh shit moment was just initially like, I can't keep doing this. This is not a sustainable model for my body. This is not a sustainable business model for the boss bitch's body. And I'm going to share with you about how I am working on and encouraging and calling my baddies out there that are, running on all cylinders to get my brain and my body on the same page and some things that I'm working on. So let's jump in. One thing, I'm saying no more often. And by no, I've been pretty good about this over the years, but last year I was starting to get resentful for decisions that I was making that I very well could have said no to. And I'm saying no a lot more. We're launching a lot less this year in Boss Bitch Radio. We're offering less in terms of programs across the board and just getting really clear on the foundations of what we do instead of just focusing on the minutia. So, and how this can look in your life is, what do you need to say no more to, right? Is there some obligation? Like, obligation is such a gross word. You don't want to be obligated to have to do anything. If there's something that you're feeling obligated to do, how can we change that? Either change the perspective around it if you feel like you have no way out, which, spoiler alert, you probably do. Or who do we need to have a difficult conversation with, or just a conversation with, and communicate our needs to, so that our needs are met. And this is something that I've been learning to do, and it's been wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. People cannot read your mind. Your man, your team, your coworkers, they cannot read your mind. And I think there is a lost art of communication. And so this is super helpful. So saying no more often, taking on less, and letting there be some breathing room for you, right? For you to meet your body's needs so you can have some self-care, because at the end of the day, I want this to not be just about vanity for us. Okay. I don't want this to just be about vanity anymore, because I'm not mad that the body follows suit when I start taking care of it and paying attention and making sure I'm sleeping and I'm doing all the things really that I have to come back to is our Sculpt Formula, which I know sounds crazy, but I have to anchor to something. And that's always super helpful for me. And that's why I created it, is in turn to hopefully be helpful to our clients and you guys as we talk through a lot of these things. But saying no so I can make time for those things that I know are going to contribute to overall better health and wellness. And that indeed, by doing those things, the body is going to follow. It's going to follow, right? I also started putting boundaries around communication time. And what I mean by that is, again, being a entrepreneur, a business owner, a high-level CEO of your life, it can feel like you're constantly a problem solver. And that's truly is what I feel like I am a lot of the time now, because I'm not in the studio training clients anymore, and all the coaching I do now is online. I still have to manage my business and my team and my trainers and my VAs, all those fun things. And also, we own a personal training studio. It's not an emergency. It's not an ER. We're not doing brain surgery. So sometimes I leave notifications on, like it's going to have to wait till tomorrow so I can take care of me. And then when I take care of me tomorrow, I will be able to handle these issues and problems so much more eloquently and like a logical human being. And I think if you can set some boundaries around communication time if you're, again, a business owner, entrepreneur, around when your team communicates with you or when you're communicating with your team, right? Have boundaries around when you feel like it's okay to text message your team or email your team, because we need to lead by example. So it's like, I'm not emailing and picking at my team for things when it's time for them to be with their family or it's their weekend time. Right? When we're in launches, even try to get really strategic around that. It's like, hey, we're in launch. This isn't a fire, but let it be your first thing for your attention tomorrow, right? Like just being very mindful of communication time and boundaries. Another way that I am able to get my brain and my body on the same page with what it is that the mission is here in this world, in this life, is that when I take out a time for my own exercise, because that's been honestly the biggest battle for me. And I think because I was just kind of going into it and just kind of having a bad attitude about it because I was like, I have way too much to do. And so then my exercise started to feel like a burden. I'm like not excited about it. And so I just was a lot of time, going through the motions or just not getting in as often as I'd like to. But I had to tell myself, I'm doing this for the me now, but I'm also doing it for the future me. Because I think if we focus so much on, well, I'm going now because I'm trying to achieve the body, like you're delaying the gratification or the enjoyment or the benefits of exercise and like eating well. You're delaying that until you get to like a certain size or a scale weight. I used to do that. Right? Like, I'm not going to be happy. I can't be satisfied. Oh my gosh, no, I can't. I'm still got 10 pounds to lose or whatever. It really steals the joy of truly, if you pay attention to your body and what it's telling you, it takes away from the benefits of your movement in that moment, right? Like exercise can be hard. It can be challenging. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's rainbows and sunshine. It is not. Sometimes I'm grinding through a heavy set of, leg press, and it's like the weight of the world is on my shoulders and I'm, in a stressful period of my life. There's like all this stuff going on, but I have to remind myself I just did something really fucking hard. Like after every workout, like hell yes, I conquered this workout, and like appreciating that and giving myself that permission to just own that moment and know that I'm doing it for me now. And yes, also for me later, but I don't even know what the future holds. I have no idea if I'm even going to be here tomorrow. I could walk outside and get hit by a bus right now, and I'm going to spend this moment now till I get hit by the bus worrying about the fact that I'm still not a size 4 and I'm not 140 pounds. We cannot do that. We cannot do that. We would not let our children do that. We would tell our kids like, no, enjoy the moment now, right? Taking it a step back, I mentioned earlier how I always go back to the basics. And the basics for me is really the foundation of a lot of what we believe through Boss Bitch Radio, right? Boss Bitch Venus. It is really the Sculpt pillars, and it helps me reassess anywhere where I'm feeling like I'm misaligned. It's super easy because it's like a checkpoint for me now. And it's my own little GPS system of, okay, where are we going? What's happening? What am I doing? Am I on track? Am I off track? Because if these things are off, I'm definitely off. So the first one in Sculpt is S, right? So the S in our Sculpt formula: sleep, stress reduction, sweating, and steps. I take a look at those areas. I do an evaluation. I know where I should be on the scale of 1 to 10 here and what the optimal numbers are for me. And that's why I love this as really the process that we use, because it's very individualized. It's not like you need to have 10,000 steps a day. No, because if you've only been getting 3, your goal does not need to be 10. So this formula really just moves with you wherever you're at in your life, honestly. So taking a look at that, right? This is a great place for you to start too. How many hours of sleep are you getting? If you're burning the candle and you're fried out, you're not going to be effective. You're not going to be an effective human for your team, your family, your partner, yourself. We got to get some sleep. So that's one of the areas I'm really working on right now, and trying to get into a 7 baseline of 7 hours. Stress relief. What do we need to do to release stress? This is different for everybody. For me, I got to get outside. I have to get outside. Today, I felt like I was breaking the rules and I work for myself, which is hilarious, but it's 60 degrees here in Vegas. The sun's bright, shiny, no rain, beautiful. I took my pants off. I'm not even lying. I took my pants off in my backyard and I laid on the concrete and just 15 minutes of sun. I feel so much better. I'll go for a walk. I'll take a hot bath. I will brew some tea and curl up with a book. Like these little things are stress relief for me. What is that for you? What can we do? How can we build that in? But not in a way that's going to add stress. Like, oh, I can't do my stress relief routine, right? We don't want that. So where can you delegate something somewhere else or say, this is not important. It can wait till tomorrow to get these things built into your routine. Sweating is one that, you guys know, if you've listened to the podcast, cardio is not my favorite. However, your girl's almost 50. It's got to be in there. I got to get the heart rate up. I got to move some things around. Now you don't have to sweat. I don't always sweat, but just the point is got to get that heart rate up and work on your cardiovascular capacity. Okay. It helps with your lifting. You will recover better between your lifting sets, which is awesome. And there is something to be said of getting a couple days a week of a nice little burst of some cardio. Okay. Then we have steps. How much are you moving? Are we sitting down a lot, right? I sit all day. I did not become a personal trainer to think that I was going to be sitting and sometimes only end up with like 2,000 or 3,000 steps. No joke, you guys. So I have to be intentional about that. So I'm not shocked when I'm like, oh my gosh, I've put on a few pounds and I look at my step averages and it's like, you've averaged 4,000 steps a day. That isn't anything, especially when I used to move as a trainer between like 10 and sometimes 15,000 steps every single day. So it would make sense with my activity level going down, why the scale is going up or my pants are tighter or whatever, especially if my food hasn't changed. So steps, how can we move a little bit more than you are now? 100 more steps a day for this first week, right? Like maybe you look at your averages and it's like, oh, you're averaging about, 5,500. Great. This week, try to get 5,600 every single day. It's 100 extra steps. So easy. Then what? Guess what? The next week, let's take it up again. So right now, my magic number is I'm trying to get at least 8,000 because again, sitting all day, right? Then we have the C in the Sculpt formula, consistency. Now, here's where consistency can be done wrong. Consistency does not mean perfection, and it also needs to be realistic. I have been very unrealistic with myself, thinking I needed to lift 6 days a week, just like I did in my bodybuilder days way back then. It's unnecessary. It's not needed. My body feels better, looks better, operates better when I'm not overtraining it. It doesn't look as tired and kind of worn down, and I don't have as many aches and pains. So consistency, think about how can I make the S's consistent, right? How can I make my sleep consistent? How can I manage my stress and include a stress care relief routine consistently? What night of the week does that need to land on? Where do I need to time block that, right? Where can I be consistent with my sweat? Well, if I'm already going to the gym on this day for, whatever, a yoga class, can I add 15 minutes cardio here? I'm already there for yoga. Why can't I do this, right? And your steps, how can I automate that? Well, how can I get a little more consistent here? Look at my day and where do I have meetings that I can get on my walking pad and talk on the meeting, or get outside and talk on the meeting, or make a phone call with a family member or something. That's a little bit of self-care and it's steps, and get some movement in. So it's really about figuring out, what does consistency look like for you? It could look so different than your friend's form of consistency. Maybe consistency for you is I get to the gym once a week and I get a really good leg day. And that's where we're at right now. But it lives on my calendar. It's there every Thursday at whatever time. Maybe you hire a trainer or you meet with a friend or something, and it becomes a new routine, a part of your habit. Make it easy. Where is it in proximity to your home or work that it's just going to feel like it's the next part of your day? It's a part of your day. Then we move on to understanding, right? The U in Sculpt. Well, for me, this means we have to solidify your why, right? I have to solidify my why. What's my why? And if I can solidify that on a deeper level, this will be so much easier to adhere to consistently because I understand why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it just because I have a cruise in April. I'm doing it because I like my mental health and I want people to like me. Okay. Like, I don't want everybody to be like, she's an uptight bitch. She doesn't work out. She needs to go fucking lift some shit. No. So I understand in order for me to show up as a better person, I need to carve out, and I'm finding that I had to shift my perspective about something, which we're going to talk about in a second. So know why you're doing it, because when you don't feel like doing it, you're going to tell yourself, this is a feeling. I remember feelings. We love feelings. I'm a woman. I love me some feelings. My man, he's a feelingsy kind of guy too. But sometimes we don't feel like doing stuff, but it's not necessarily like, oh, I don't feel like it because I'm in pain or this or that. It's just like, you just don't want to do it, right? Listen, some days I will fold and I'll be like, today's just a day. I'm not doing it. It's not happening. But we need less of those days, and we need more of the days that you show up for yourself. And this is what I've had to do for myself. I show up for myself even when I don't feel like it, because guess what? How many times do we show up for others when we don't feel like it? I bet it's a lot. Right? How many times has this person called you, or this person needed something, or this child needed something, and it's not an ideal fucking time, right? But you showed up anyways, even though you didn't feel like it, because they needed you. And this is me saying our bodies need us to show up even when we don't feel like it. All right, the L in my Sculpt Formula, lifting. Hands down, it's the foundation of my longevity plan. Like, my plan here on earth is to be here with a good quality of life for most of the years that I'm on this planet, as all of them, if I can help it. And so when we can think of it that way, it puts us in the driver's seat, right? Like, I am in control. I am in control of what happens to a degree with my health. I'm not going to leave it up to circumstance. I'm not going to leave it up to, oh, I just neglected and oh, oopsie, oh my gosh, what did I think was going to happen? I need to own up, and I need to realize that I have a big hand in this more than I think I do. And so lifting is the foundation for that, in as far as I'm concerned, in my humble opinion, because we need to be strong as we age. Okay, sarcopenia is a real fucking thing, and it's coming for you. It's coming for me, which is basically muscle loss. You're going to lose muscle with age. There is something to be said to the whole, if you don't use it, you lose it. So we got to keep using it so we don't lose it. I think there's this perception in like it feels more like in the quick dieting style theories where you lose the weight and then you're just done. like, oh, okay, yeah, I just want to lose 10 pounds. Okay. Well, you can't stop doing those things, right? Like, we have to keep doing the things to stay healthy, to stay feeling good. And it's just like brushing your teeth. Think of working out as like it's maintenance for my body. It's like if I decided I didn't want to brush my teeth or floss and just kind of when I feel like it, do it like occasionally here and there, what's going to happen? You're going to pay the price in dental work. Okay. It's going to come for you. So I think when we can focus on the pillar of what is going to keep us youthful, and that is lifting or strength training, resistance training, we can be prepared for that and grow old gracefully. And I don't know about y'all, but being in my late 40s, this is where my focus is. All right, next up, protein in the Sculpt Formula. It is something that a lot of women struggle with. Trust me, I get it. I am not actively counting macros, or I haven't been, I should say, for quite some time, but I'm finding that I'm having a little bit of a struggle with strength. And so I know it's likely due to the fact that I'm not eating enough protein. So I'm going to bite the bullet, and through this next 12 weeks, all I'm going to do is just make sure I'm getting adequate protein. So I'm going to be weighing and measuring my proteins just to make sure I get enough through the day. I'm not weighing my carbs. I'm not going to get into all that crazy stuff, but I want to make sure that I am at least hitting my protein. So that is the foundation for all the meals and snacks that go in my mouth hole. And I suggest you do the same, is that you focus on what's the priority. Priorities protein. Okay, what's the protein for this meal or snack? And then build your nutrition around that. And then is the transformative mindset. So the power of your mind is incredible, and the things that you tell yourself or the things that you believe, and we have the power to change our trajectory simply by changing our thoughts about how we interact with things or how we're used to doing things before and how we can do them differently now, and believing in ourselves. This is the power that we have. And it can be scary. It can be overwhelming. It can feel, I don't know, maybe cheesy sometimes, but I have to tell myself and remind myself these things when I get into modes of, I'm tired, I don't want to go, I'm kicking and screaming or whatever, is that these little sound bites I hope to give to you. Exercise is a productivity hack. Tell yourself that. And guess what? It becomes one, because I have decided the other part of my mindset I needed to transform was my talk around what I am and what I am not. And one of those things is I often say, I'm not a morning person. Oh, I can't work on the morning. I can't. And it's been a battle. For those of you that have been here to the Boss Bitch world for a minute, it's been a back and forth battle. Well, I am in the phase of I am a morning person, and I am hell bent to make it my bitch this year. Okay. And I've been probably at it for about maybe over 2 months, a little close to 2 months of getting up. First thing, I don't even have feelings about it, is I get my ass to the gym. All right. Now it's a challenge for me because I have ADD. I'm a business owner. I run 2 businesses. I'm doing all these things. And my magic time, especially when it comes to creativity and whatnot, is in the morning. That's when my brain is the crispest. It's the freshest. I haven't been pulled at all day. Well, that is also a story I tell myself. So what I've been doing is I have told myself I have to sacrifice somewhere, and my mental health is not an option. So I need to move my workouts to the morning, and then the rest is going to have to fall where it falls. That's it. I'm the CEO of my body. I have to make that fucking decision because it's in the best interest of my body, not what I want. Okay. But because the challenge is, I don't know if you can relate, but at the end of the day, my brain is done ski. And if I need to get in my car at, 3:30, 4 o'clock, drive to the gym, get in there, have my wherewithal within me to knock out a really good intentional workout session and then come home, that is so overwhelming to me. It hurts my brain on a whole nother level. I want to be unwinding. I don't want to be worrying about having to go to the gym and still do all these things and then come home and then shower and eat and sprint to the finish to do it all again the next day. I hate that shit. So I'm a morning person. In fact, let me share a little fun story with you, because this is something I'm having to change, right? And I've had some pretty terrible mornings where I'm just like, I don't want to go. But guess what? I go anyways. And today was one of those days. So this morning, I took some Benadryl last night because I have just kind of been having a hard time sleeping and really getting into a deep sleep. And took some Benadryl. So this morning was rough. Telling myself, you're not tired, you're not tired, you're not tired. I get to the gym. The drive makes me sleepy because I switched gyms, and I pull up and I literally want to cry. I want to cry. I am tired. No part of me wants to go in there and do legs. And I was sort of pressed for time because Coach Denise and I were doing a podcast. I needed to be back. You get the idea. Here's what I did. I compromised with myself. I said, we're going to lay the seat back. You're going to shut your eyes for 20 minutes. That'll still give you a good 45 minute to an hour workout. There's no reason why you can't hammer something out that is effective, because that's what I would tell one of you guys. Okay. Put the seat back, put my hat over my face, set an alarm, passed out, woke up, tune up, had a whole new tune up. Gave myself a tune up, had a whole new attitude, put my headphones in, just took the next step, walked through the door, and had a really great workout. So it is really the power of just you have to go through the hard shit. The other thing is protecting my me time. So protect your me time. My time is in the morning now. My phone's on do not disturb. I'm not checking email. I'm not checking social media. I'm not getting distracted by shiny objects. I am in my app, my own personal app. Thank you very much. Selfish plug. Doing my workouts and minding my own business. Either I'm recording some content for the gram or some of my girls in the group or whatever, but I am not opening myself up to the world so the world can start pulling at me, right? I'm still here for me. So protect my me time. And I have to think to myself, time spent exercising provides me more time on this planet. Remind yourself of that. This hour I'm putting in here is going to give me more time back. It's a high yield savings account. These are the transformative mindset shifts that I'm working on, and I encourage you to steal what you need by all means. Now, here's what I've been finding, and this is what I see to happen when there's a commitment to shifting some of this stuff, your priorities around, right? Mental clarity, increase in productivity, and honestly, just another way that you build confidence in your life. You build it in your body and it transforms over into your life. It transfers over into your life more than anything. And that's what I want for you guys. I want you to feel empowered by your routine, walking into the gym, know what you need to do, get in, get out, so it doesn't feel like one more thing you have to figure out when you're there. You just execute the freaking plan. You're like, walk in, I don't even have to think. I'll pull this shit up, autopilot, knock it out, get back to being a bad bitch, a front burner bitch. But we got to take care of ourselves first. We got to put on our oxygen masks first. And which brings me to, I've been working on a fun new program, and I always love feedback. Let me know how it goes for you. And I'm kind of in the process of reworking the name a little bit, so bear with me. The link will be in the show notes. But basically, it's a lower body blueprint, lower body workout. I don't know if I want to call it the hourglass body blueprint, the booty blueprint, or the lower body blueprint. Help a sister out. You can let me know. I posted some stuff over on Instagram, but essentially, these are workouts for my high level baddies. You want to get in, you want to knock out your weights, and you want to get out. They should not take you longer than an hour. So I'm actually beta testing this right now. By the time this podcast comes out, it'll likely be polished and done. So you have the final draft, but I'm beta testing it. I want to see how long these workouts are taking, right? Let's get in, let's knock them out and give me some feedback. Too hard, too easy. How do you feel in them? And they're 3 lower body workouts, and I did throw in an upper body workout in there as well. I also put some cardio in there for you. Don't feel like you have to chew it all off at once, right? Consider it more of like a buffet, and there's 6 days to this buffet. You just choose what day you want to eat, but not really work, train, and go to the gym and try it out, and go in feeling accomplished because you go in with a plan, you put your oxygen mask on first, you knocked it out, you aren't wasting time trying to figure out if what you're doing is actually working. You're not just autopiloting it in some group fitness class where there's no rhyme and reason to the actual structure of things sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. And you want to build a solid foundation of your body, your strength, your confidence, your ability to feel great in anything that you wear, right? Not be embarrassed to be in pictures this summer and feel just like you have to hide your legs. I want you guys to rock the booty shorts at any age, any shape, but be empowered when you walk into the gym and know exactly what to do. So check it out. Link is in the show notes. And let me know what you think. All right. I love you guys. Let's get to it and let's become front burner bitches.